January 14th, 1972. Muhammad speaks. Question, Mr. Muhammad. There have been various charges made in the press that there is a power struggle going on, and that you are a target of an attempted assassination. Muhammad, for 40 years I have been a target for assassination, but I do not pay any attention to that kind of talk. That does not annoy me, because I know if God is on my side to protect me, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises is due forever, I am not afraid about anyone making threats given to the public. Question. Are there in fact people who are attempting to assassinate you? Muhammad, I would have to ask the public whether there are any. Question. Police on the West Coast, San Francisco and Oakland, Chicago and New York claim that a number of Muslims have been slain by what they think is a splinter group or people struggling for power over the past year or so. It is also reported that your own son-in-law was shot at or wounded last October. They link this to the power struggle. What is your reaction? Muhammad, my reaction is to continue to teach them to not do these things as I have always. I do not believe in carrying weapons. When a man puts weapons in his pockets or a gun, I will make it clear. It takes his mind off God's protection and puts it on the gun to protect him. This I have taught my followers ever since God left me. Do not carry weapons, because that is not a protection for the people who manufacture such weapons. They cannot save their own lives with them today. Question. What is the reason in your estimation for the violence that has occurred? What do you think is the reason for the violence that has taken place? Muhammad, it is just people who are not ready to join up with the righteous, and who wish to destroy the righteous and let evil and unrighteousness triumph, if it can. Question. Is there an effort to take over the organization? Muhammad, I do not think our people are that foolish as to think they can take it over. There may be some people that think they can take it over. There may be some people that think, if such one and such one is out of the way, I could get his place. That may be in the minds of some of the PO play, but I do not believe actually they really believe it themselves that they are going to take over. Question. Do you think, sir, that it is true? The mayor of Baton Rouge thought this. Do you think someone is trying to kill you? Muhammad, that has been going on for 40 years, ever since I was missioned. Question. Who do you think is trying to assassinate you? Muhammad, I do not ever look at the people who are talking about assassinating me, because I know they are not going to be successful. Question. Do you know if the people involved in Baton Rouge were Muslims? Muhammad, no, I do not know that. I would have to make a searching of all the temples throughout America. Question. What about the alleged Muslims who have been killed? Muhammad, there were some of my followers killed on the West Coast. It is true. Question. What was the reason for those killings on the West Coast? Muhammad, I only know what they tell me, and they lay it to the brutality of the police force in LA. Question. Did you specifically deny that any of the men in Baton Rouge were Muslims? Muhammad, I do not deny anything of the truth. I do not deny truth. What I have said, it is the truth. Question. We were thinking that the possibility could exist that if the media did present a plot out on your life, other people, like people in the government, could take your life and then blame it on a Muslim feud. Muhammad, there is no possibility that anyone will take my life. People may threaten, but I am not afraid of anyone's taking my life. Question. Could you explain what you meant when you referred to the killing of certain people in LA? Muhammad, that is what I was told. Question. You do not think that had anything at all to do with a faction or power fight? Who killed some of your followers? Muhammad, I have to go with what is reported to me and not what I think. I am not going to tell what I think. I am not going to tell what I think. I'm going to tell what I hear, and my thinking is within myself. Question. Have you heard anything to the effect that government officials are trying to put pressure on the black Muslims similar to the pressure that was put on other black organizations in the past? Muhammad, as I said a minute or so ago, I have been doing this work for 40 years. I have known many groups to rise up since that time and carry into practice what you have in mind. But actually, our people in LA and New York or any other place here in Chicago, they have been mistreated right along. They go to prison and the federal penitentiary, as they call it, institutions. But that is all given to us. The trial of the black Muslims in America must come to pass. We must be tried. Question. Has police brutality in Chicago increased or decreased? Muhammad, no, I do not say that it has increased against us. I think it is just about the same as it always has been. Question. Has anybody brought it to your attention, or has any member brought it to your attention, that they are dissatisfied with how that money is used? Muhammad, I do not pay any attention to any such talk, because most of my followers are satisfied with what happens to the money that is donated for the upkeep of the work that we are doing, and wish that they could give more. Question. The Nation of Islam does have considerable holdings, financial assets, and they are in the South recently. I forgot whether it was Alabama or Mississippi. There was a lot of hullabaloo about not allowing black Muslims to obtain farmland due to the number of people trying to cut down on. Muhammad, we have been living in the world that goes like this, keep the nigger down. And we are not out of it yet. What we are doing today is trying to do something for ourselves. Therefore, we go to the farm, where there is the place where everyone, if he wants to be successful, can go back to the earth and get it from the earth. This is where the white man got it from. He has been successful ever since he has been in the Western Hemisphere. He has raised enough food to supply his broth. We are in Europe and even our brothers in Africa, right here in America. Question. The group in Baton Rouge that has been identified as black Muslims, what was their status at the time of the shooting in Baton Rouge? Muhammad, I do not know, because we did not have them on our register, therefore we do not know just what was what. We do know this, that they were not on our registry as good Muslims. We could not locate them, and if they were on our registry as good Muslims, we would try to do the best we could to uphold their goodness. We did not know these people in the beginning. Their names, some of them are foreign to us altogether. Question. Do you have a central registry of all throughout the country? Muhammad. All of them that come up to register, we do have. Question. Can you give us a number of those you have? Muhammad. They come so fast. Right at this hour they are trying to get to us now, in the registry of Islam. We never know how many we have. We believe we have quite a few 100,000 over the country. They are coming in faster now than ever. Question. Authorities in Baton Rouge released a vast itinerary of the group in Baton Rouge, trying in many reports from various sources saying that this group has come there, asking for support. Muhammad, no, I have not received any report. No, I do not have anything that I can say are accurate reports that these people came to the temple there. Question. Referring to the shooting of Theodore Bey and Captain Raymond Sharif. Why do you think someone would be shooting at Mr. Sharif, and why do you think some would be shooting Theodore Bey? Muhammad, I do not know what you have in your heart. I do not have that knowledge. Why would they go shoot at the man? What was he doing to them to cause their anger to raise that high to want to kill an innocent man, sitting behind the wall in his own office? Question. What do you mean when you say, a good Muslim? Muhammad, a good Muslim is one who observes and obeys the laws of the religion of Islam, designed by God himself. Question. Does that mean that they are only people, I suppose, people ousted from the religion at times? If someone is found not to obey the laws, they are expelled? Muhammad, we have such punishment if we find you not obeying the laws of the religion of Islam, as it is taught to me by God himself, and that I put the law out before the world, and especially before the world, and especially before those who believe, to follow and obey. We put you out of the circle and we give a certain amount of time, ranging from 30 days to 6, 9, or 12 months. It could be 1 to 5 years in that, to 7 years, but we never have had to put a man out or woman out for 7 years. Yet, these are the numbers of times that you are to pay for your disobedience. Question. If you are expelled or suspended, are you listed on the registry? Do you have a list if someone is suspended for a period of 7 years for not obeying the laws? Would you still have that person listed on your registry? Muhammad, yes, we have to keep him on there. Question. So, if the people were members at any time, you would know that. Muhammad, if we consult our registry to find out whether or not any of these people were listed by name, we will find it. We are still searching. We never stop searching to see if such and such people are on our register, just in case, say, we punish ourselves. We have a punishment, as I just listed to you, for disobedient Muslims, and we're always checking our registry for such things that a Muslim may do and cause us trouble. Question. It appears from your checks so far that none of the people in Baton Rouge are members of your organization? Muhammad, so far, we have not found wherein those people that were charged with starting a shooting riot down there were on our registry. I want to accelerate this Baton Rouge stuff. We do not consider a Muslim who is running around over the country trying to start trouble. We do not even consider him. February 4th, 1972. Muhammad Speaks, Chicago. This is part 2 of MS's exclusive presentation of Messenger Muhammad's January 14th, 1972 press conference. Question. Mr. Muhammad, is it true that you are planning to build a new home for your family? I think right adjacent to your present home? Muhammad, it is true, those houses are my homes. Question. The press has evaluated the new homes at $500,000. Muhammad, I wish I had gotten off with that cheap price, but it is twice that much that these buildings are costing. All 4 of the homes cost $1 million, a little over $1 million, about $223,000. 000. Question. I was referring to a new home for yourself and your wife. Mr. Muhammad, that home sometimes referred to as a mansion. The cost has been estimated to cost $500,000. Muhammad, I think they are costing a little more for the house here on the corner. Question. There are reports that you are in the process of purchasing a large tract of land to build low-income houses. Muhammad, we have some information from the authorities that they could apply as with area now for about 100,000. I do not know exactly. I have not gone into any serious questioning about it. Question. With the federal government or local government? Muhammad, local government, the city. Question. How soon do you expect those to be built? Muhammad, I do not know. I have not seriously gone into these offers, but I hope to do so soon because we need them. My greatest desire on the South Side is to build better homes for the black man on the South Side in Chicago. Again, my greatest desire is to put him up a hospital, which he sorely needs. He really needs a hospital. Again, the third, I would say, it is an educational center to teach him the knowledge of self. The city has not approached me yet to sell me and my followers these houses. They have indirectly indicated this would be easy to do if I wanted to get them for such purposes. Question. Do you have a date in mind when you would like to begin construction of these 100 single-family homes? Muhammad, we would like to go into that as soon as possible with the proper authorities. Question. Will you also try similar enterprises in other cities? Muhammad, yes, everywhere we are. This group in Baton Rouge claiming to be Muslims, is there a known leader? Question. Do you know how many Muslims have been killed in the last few years, either by police? February 4th, 1972. Muhammad Speaks Chicago. This is Part 2 of MS's exclusive presentation of Messenger Muhammad's January 14th, 1972 press conference. Question, Mr. Muhammad, is it true that you are planning to build a new home for your family? I think right adjacent to your present home? Muhammad, it is true those houses are my homes. Question. The press has evaluated the new homes at $500,000. Muhammad, I wish I had gotten off with that cheap price, but it is twice that much that these buildings are costing. All four of the homes cost $1 million, a little over $1 million, about $223,000. 000. Question. I was referring to a new home for yourself and your wife. Mr. Muhammad, that home sometimes referred to as a mansion. The cost has been estimated to cost $500,000. Muhammad, I think they are costing a little more for the house here on the corner. Question. There are reports that you are in the process of purchasing a large tract of land to build low-income houses. Muhammad, we have some information from the authorities that they could apply as with area now for about 100,000. I do not know exactly. I have not gone into any serious questioning about it. Question. With the federal government or local government? Muhammad, local government, the city. Question. How soon do you expect those to be built? Muhammad, I do not know. I have not seriously gone into these offers, but I hope to do so soon, because we need them. My greatest desire on the South Side is to build better homes for the black man on the South Side in Chicago. Again, my greatest desire is to put him up a hospital, which he sorely needs. He really needs a hospital. Again, the third, I would say, it is an educational center to teach him the knowledge of self. The city has not approached me yet to sell me and my followers these houses. They have indirectly indicated this would be easy to do if I wanted to get them for such purposes. Question. Do you have a date in mind when you would like to begin construction of these 100 single-family homes? Muhammad, we would like to go into that as soon as possible with the proper authorities. Question. Will you also try similar enterprises in other cities? Muhammad, yes, everywhere we are. This group in Baton Rouge claiming to be Muslims, is there a known leader? Question. Do you know how many Muslims have been killed in the last few years, either by police or internal strife? Do you keep such a record? Muhammad, we try, but I am not saying how many we have on record today. Question. You spoke earlier about police brutality. Were you suggesting that this was some kind of police plot, or are you sure it wasn't a splinter group? Muhammad, yes, we have been attacked and still are being attacked by the police department, and there are some few of my followers who have been killed by the police department. Question. Do you feel that the police might have been responsible for what happened at Baton Rouge or on the West Coast? Muhammad, I am not eager to say pro or con on this matter, because I do not have too much knowledge of it. However, I do know, according to what has passed, that the police department down there could give you better knowledge than me. Question. You indicate that the numbers of the nation are increasing. How do you feel about the fidelity that is coming from the individuals who are joining up with the nation? Do you feel people are becoming more deeply involved or more deeply a part of the Nation of Islam, or do you think the numbers tend to spread things thin? Muhammad, I think for the last year or so that we have increased in the registry of our people, with very good people. Their morals are good, and they are trying now to increase themselves into better morals. Our natural black people all over the country are trying to do that. Question: have you designated a successor for yourself? Muhammad, I do not do that. I cannot do that. I did not choose myself. God chose me, and if he wants a successor, he will choose that one. Question: by what means would someone come up? Muhammad, I do not know that, because I do not believe there is one coming up. The work that I am doing, I don't think God needs another one, because when man and God have come face to face, as the old saying goes, then that is the end of it. When we are face to face with God, that is the end of it, and so what would another one do? There is nothing for him to do. Question: after you are gone, Mr. Muhammad, the Nation of Islam will continue to exist, but how? Muhammad, it will be a new Islam to what the old Orthodox Islam is today. It will be altogether a new one. Question: you mean your successor will preside over a new Islam? Muhammad, there will be no successor. There is no need for a successor when a man has got the divine truth and has brought you face to face with God. Question: how will your resources be administered? Muhammad, that will be carried on by the nation. After setting up the nation on the right way, or right path to take care of itself, they do not need any more instruction on that. They will follow it as the Constitution of America has been followed. Question: will it be run by local mosques? Muhammad, no. After this, the whole entire nation of black people will be governed divinely, and the government will be a divine government and not something that is governed locally, like we have today. We will have a divine government set up for us, and it will stand forever. We will not need any change. Question: what did you mean, new, different from Orthodox? Muhammad, I meant just that. We have a new Islam coming up. The old Islam was led by white people, white Muslims, but this one will not be. This Islam will be established and led by black Muslims only. Question: will there be a Savior's Day affair as it has been in the Colosseum? Muhammad, we have not made preparations there. Question: where will you have it, sir? Muhammad, we hope to have it in the armory over on 52nd and Cottage. Question: will you address the gathering, Mr. Muhammad? Muhammad, that depends on the will of God. If he pleases, I will be there. Question: has that changed your plans, Baton Rouge? Has it changed your security arrangements? Muhammad, no, because I have one security, and that is God himself. Question: how is your health? Muhammad, my health? Well, I do very well, I think, if it pleases Allah. In all of the afflictions of the former messengers, to classify Elijah, who is coming just before the great and dreadful day of God, he must have a taste of all of it. Question: why did you appoint a press conference today? Muhammad, they appointed themselves and I am willing to go along with them, in that I set up a press conference. Question: when was the last press conference, do you recall? Muhammad, I have not had an actual press conference in quite a few years. I think it was in LA that I had something like question on certain things, on one thing about when Malcolm's death took place. That was not really a press conference. We have not had a press conference since Los Angeles a few years ago. Question: would you tell us the present status of Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay? Muhammad, Cassius Clay is a good believer. I would say the young man is full of sport, and he goes along with sport too, but I think in his heart he wants to be good. Question: will he be returned into full membership into the Nation of Islam? Muhammad, there is nothing one would do that cannot be forgiven, if he repents. Question: have you set a date for when he comes back into full membership? Muhammad, no. He is actually still a good believer. As far as certain duties or posts as he used to hold, as teaching in the ministry, I do not know when that will take place. February 11th, 1972. Muhammad Speaks Chicago. This is Part 3 of MS's exclusive presentation of Messenger Muhammad's January 14th, 1972, press conference. Question: do you feel that it is incorrect to use the term power struggle in reference to recent events? Muhammad, as I said here some time ago, this thing has been happening for 40 years, but I never pay it any attention. It doesn't annoy me because I know a person of that sort has as yet to learn what really Islam is here in America. Islam in America is to reclaim our people and part them in their own. This is the resurrection of our people in America. Question: is that struggle more intense now than it was in the past? You say it has been going on for 40 years. Muhammad, well, I do not meet any different with what I met 35 or 40 years ago. They always will be striving to be something of their own, but I do not pay them any attention because I know they will never be successful. Question, your son-in-law, Raymond Sharif, is second in command? Muhammad, I would say this, since I am not going to come back and look over the staff and see who is on it, let us just forget about asking such questions. Question, has somebody been caught trying to get their hands in the cookie jar? Muhammad, I do not know of anything like that, because I do not pay any attention to this annoying talk about someone taking over. I am assured by God himself and by the prophets. I am not particular about others who talk just to hear themselves talk. I would say they are just wasting time. In the last days, if you will allow me to say this, in the last days, it is plainly written that you will have Elijah to put you on the right way. And this man starts way back here, almost in the beginning. He travels with you throughout your Bible. This man will fulfill that which is written of him. This is the resurrection I refer to of our black people in America. This is the place where they must come up first. They are in the crossroads here, and they have to be pointed towards the right way to go out. I do not mean to say they go out of America, but out of the evils of America. They were made unrighteous by the slave masters. They are not even charged with it. You are given for everything of evil on your accepting Islam and your own. That is all God asks of you to do today, is go back to your own. You are forgiven for everything because all of the evil you did in the past, it was not you. It was the slave master who made you do evil. Question, one question, how old are you now? Muhammad, I am 10 and 3. I am 73 years old. Question, how is your health? Muhammad, well, as I just said a while ago, all the afflictions of the other fellows prophets I have to go through. Question, when is your birthday? Muhammad, I do not know exactly my birthday. I just know the month it came in October. So when October passes, I say I am so old and so old. Question, Mr. Muhammad, have you increased your security staff in recent months? Muhammad, no, I would never do that. It's only according to the people that come to us, but I always go with the hopes and with the knowledge that God will protect us if my followers do as I tell them. I never depend on a group of security guards, primarily in the way of searching the people to see that the people don't enter the meeting with weapons and such things as whiskey, playing cards, or gambling material on them. Question, have you had many inquiries from the Muslims about Baton Rouge? Muhammad, no. I have not been confronted with a lot of people from across the country asking me questions about Baton Rouge or what took place in Baton Rouge. No, they have brought me most of what I have heard was going on, not questioning me. Question, how many mosques do you have throughout the country? Muhammad, there are a little better than 50 actually set up. There are so many little mosques that come up overnight, I do not know the total myself. Question, sources at the temple denied that the 10 blacks were Muslims. Does each town have a registry of the people in that town? Muhammad, they would know more than I would know. Those are the people you should be questioning, the ones that are already there. The Muslims there in that temple, they have very little knowledge of someone coming down there, starting trouble, until it actually broke out. Question, what do you do for recreation? Do you play chess? Muhammad, no, I do not play any games of chance. No, I do not ever have any time to do anything but teach and instruct laborers how to go about their labor. Question, how long is your workday? Muhammad, we work 7 days, and we do not have a limit on how many hours we will work. Sometimes we work up until 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Our work has now become so enormous on us, we hardly let go. When we go to sleep or to bed, we just have it to do. Question, will you spend your entire winter here? Muhammad, for the last few years I have been spending the whole winter and summer in Chica. Go. Question, have you been going to Phoenix in recent years? Muhammad, no, I have not been to Phoenix in recent years. Question, I would like to ask a religious question. Do you have visions? Muhammad, I do not say really have visions, but I do hear voices at times. Question, under what conditions does that occur when you seek it to happen? Muhammad, they comes when I am not, for example, really confining myself to expect something like that or seeking something like that. They just comes just so. Question, do you see this as the voice of a spiritual teacher or the voice of God? Muhammad, I know God. I was with him about 3 years and about 4 or 5 months. I know his voice, and when he speaks, I know it. Question, not trying to be funny, Have you received any of your spiritual feelings that perhaps something is amiss in the nation of Islam? That perhaps some people are plotting to try to, say, destroy what you and others have built? Muhammad, I do not have to guess on that, ever. Since I have been missioned by Allah, there has been someone around trying to get a chance to kill me. And I have met with some of them face to face. Question, you do not plan a retirement, Mr. Muhammad? Muhammad, I cannot plan on that. How can I plan on a retirement? I cannot do that. Question, I think you have spoken about this in the past. Could you give us an assessment of the life of Malcolm? Muhammad, no, I would not lose any time with a man that has been talked and talked about for years. If the people do not have a knowledge of him after these many years, I am not going to waste my time with going into Malcolm's history. Malcolm, I do not have any time to waste with him, as I think everyone know. Malcolm or did know Malcolm, and they know Malcolm's death. He was teaching, according to what I heard, and the people that were there should give a better report than me. Question, the person you refer to as living with God for 3 years and 3 or 4 months. Muhammad, I am talking about the person that is God, and I myself was with him for 3 years and 4 or 5 months. It began in 1931. I was able to recognize him by his help and by the help of scripture. Question, are you talking about Mr. Fard? Muhammad, it was him that I have learned all that I am now teaching. I do not know anything of myself. It is what he has given me. Question, is it his voice that you hear in visions now? Muhammad, it is the same voice in the past and at present. I have not had to go into such things as fasting and praying that I hear him. It is just so. Just like something happens all of a sudden out of a blue sky, like thunder. Question, how was it timed every so often? Muhammad, no, it is not timed like that. It happens whenever he gets ready for that. Question, can you give me some idea? Muhammad, whenever the time is necessary, he speak to me. How often that takes place? I do not keep a record of it. Question, all these 40 years, this goes on periodically? Muhammad, yes, I have had him speaking to me in my ears now, in person, yes. There does not pass a year when I do not hear his voice sometime in that year. Question, would it be possible for you to tell us what he has told you in the past year or this year? Muhammad, no, I am not here to tell you what he said to me yesterday as much, unless it concerns you in the time. Question, you mentioned that black people were born, I believe you said pure? Muhammad, they were born righteous. Question, and the slave owners made them unrighteous? Muhammad, yes, they were by nature made unrighteous. Their nature was that. Question, does that include all white people now? Muhammad, that included all white people then and all white people now. They were made unrighteous. Question, if you could pick one overriding issue by which you could be remembered by history, what would it be? What would you want to be remembered for, a century from now? Muhammad, I would only want to be remembered for the work that I do, in the name of Allah. That is what I want to be remembered for. It has been very well lined up to us. We find here in Genesis, the making of the man that started true blay. Even his sons started trouble. When they got old enough, they started murdering each other, and it has kept going ever since. Because white people kill white people. They go to war with each other. They stay at war with each other. According to history, they had a 30-year war in England and a 100-year war in Europe, and I see in the paper over here and on the radio that they are fighting over there, one another. Now, they are even fighting the church over there in Ireland. They cannot get at peace with each other. That also is the area where they fought the 30 and 100-year wars. Question, the press states that you label all white people blue-eyed devils. Is this true? Muhammad, whether they are actually blue-eyed or not, if they are actually one of the members of that race, they are devils. Question, what would be an out for me? Is there any hope for me? Muhammad, now, I must tell you the truth. There will be no such thing as elimination of all white people from the earth at the present time or at the break. Out of the holy war, no, because there are some white people today who have faith in Allah and Islam though they are white, and their faith is given credit. They are not born or created Muslims, but they have faith in what the Muslims are and trying to live. It is only through Islam that white people can be saved. But you see, there would be a holy war. They call it a holy war, which means right is against wrong and wrong against right. Question, you do not mean white fighting blacks or that sort of thing. Muhammad, I do not say or, I should say no, because the right is the black and the wrong is the white, and naturally the Muslim world is bound to clash with the unrighteous world. Question, do you mean through guns and that sort of violence? Muhammad, I see a lot of them have been prepared. I do not know what you are going to use, but I know there are lots of weapons prepared. We are not to use Kamal weapons, which you will use. We do not need it. The sun shining on your back, we can use that if necessary for weapons. God has every kind of weapon out there to use against you, even to the earth you are sitting on. If he shakes that for half a minute, all of your cities could lie sprawled. There is no such thing as him preparing the kind of weapons you are preparing. You cannot win in anything. You cannot stop the snow and cold weather from blowing down from the northwest. There are mountains of it lying there, waiting for a certain time. We cannot do anything against the forces of nature. We have no defense, and it is written in the Bible that he keeps these things stored away for the day of battle and war to fight you with. We cannot do anything about that. There are storms also. Who is it out there who feels so brave with the twister out there tearing up houses on both sides? Question. You do not feel that members of the Nation of Islam will have to take up guns? Muhammad, no, they would not have to do that if they obey Allah, any more than I would say. Moses and Aaron had to take up arms against Pharaoh. You have been fighting us with guns and whatnot ever since John Hawkins brought us here over 400 years ago. We have to find something more effective, and the most effective are the forces of nature. The end. The end.